Hey guys, it's 𝗙់back with another video. How y'all doing? I hope good. I'm doing a lot better. I'm rested, finally. Well, about as rested as I can be at this point, but I've been, taking care of myself and getting sleep and keeping regular hours. So I'm much less jet lagged than I was in the last video, and thanks for bearing with me through that. I know I was all puffy-eyed and foggy-brained, but I've been getting sleep and keeping regular hours and getting back into the rhythm of this time zone that I'm in now. So things are improving, and I feel a lot better. And I hope you guys are good too. I wanted to talk about something today that has to do with looking at your desire as being something normal. Right? Now, I get asked this question a lot. Why is it that unwanted things manifest so much easier and smoother and quicker than the wanted things? Right? And the simple answer to that question really is, every time, that you expect the unwanted things to happen because you've been operating on a sort of operating system, on a belief system that you've carried around so long, probably since your childhood, and probably you've adopted these beliefs from, your environment as a child, the people around you as a child, and their belief systems you picked up that things will go wrong, nothing ever works out, why should this happen for me? It happens for other people, but not for me. Something good might happen, but the other shoe always drops, yada, 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 yada. You know all that stuff, and you know all that chatter that your monkey mind does, right? The thing is, you have no resistance to any of that because it's normal to you. To your mind, you've adopted a belief about that things going wrong and things being difficult and life being a battle and a struggle is a normal way of operating on planet Earth. And then you see evidence of it because that's, the evidence of it, the physical evidence of it, other people living through it, you living through it, having bad experiences come very easily, things going wrong very easily, annoying things happening very easily. You see the evidence of that because that is, of course, you pushed out. That's your belief about things. And of course, that's how your physical 3D reality is going to reflect it back to you, right? It's a 3D mirror. Physical reality. It's a mirror that you can taste and feel and touch and hear and see and smell, sometimes unfortunately. But the thing is that you have no resistance to things going wrong. You have no resistance to that idea going wrong. So those things feel normal to you. You have easy access in your memory to experiences that are unwanted and annoying and that go wrong, right? So you can easily imagine and picture something going wrong potentially. You can easily conjure the feeling of something going wrong potentially, and that's the key to it. You know how it feels for things to go wrong, and you dwell in that thinking and you dwell in that feeling, and you've probably done so for most of your life in default mode without ever realizing until you start learning this stuff, that you've been, that's how you've been creating more and more of those kinds of experiences. And that's how those kinds of experiences have been coming to you more quickly, more readily, more easily, more smoothly, right? More predictably, okay? And so what's happening is, of course, you're now trying to switch your thinking. You're trying to switch your belief systems to being something more positive, more empowering, expecting more positive outcomes to come more easily and more smoothly. But it's not been your primary mode of operating, so it seems difficult. And so what's happening is that your mind is seeing all of these things that you want, these desires that you want, especially the big ones. And I'm going to talk about the big ones in this video because it is the big ones that are the most elusive. The ones that we want the most seem the most elusive to us because we have no reference point for those things happening. We see them as rare. And of course, if we see them as rare, then we rarely see them. That's what's going on, because that is the feedback that you're getting from your third dimensional physical mirror, right? Your reality mirror. So if you see something as being rare, then you will rarely see it. That's a good one. I like that. That might be the title of this video. I should write that down. Okay, I won't right now. But really, that's it in a nutshell. It's not a difficult concept to explain, but it can be difficult to accept in terms of, or to see that from the outside looking in, right? Because we're so wrapped up in our life experiences and our day-to-day experiences that we don't really see how we are really creating all of it through our expectations and through this operating system that we have running in the background all the time. Things are always going to go wrong. Things are always going to go wrong. And that's why, of course, we introduce things like affirmations, right? And they're not going to create better things for you. They're not magic words that are just going to switch things on or on just like that, right? What's happening, though, is that they're designed to switch that thinking inside yourself. That's where the shift has to happen, because as the shift, you are the source of it all. You're the source of the mirror image, right? And I've said this so many times before, you can't go up to a mirror wearing a frown and then complain that the mirror isn't smiling back at you. How do you get a mirror image? How do you get your reflection in a mirror to smile? You got to be the one to start smiling first. So that's how physical reality happens. You have to start coming to that mirror of physical reality with a different kind of expectation. And the way you start doing that is through things like affirmations. And they're important for that, but they're designed to help you shift on the inside. All right? They're designed to help you to adopt a different belief system about things, to adopt the belief system that you haven't been carrying around with you your whole life. You don't have any resistance towards things going wrong. Okay? You accept them as normal, you accept them as a given, and so therefore they come easily because there's no resistance. Oh yeah, that thing was going to go wrong. I saw that coming. Right? How many times do you say that throughout your day or your week or whatever? Oh, this was going to be a terrible year. I saw that coming. Oh, yeah, that guy was going to cut me off. Or that was going to happen. Oh, yeah, I was going to be late to work. Oh, yeah, they were going to fire me. I saw it coming. I saw it coming. Because you still kind of see physical reality as being something happening to you. Right? The world and life is being something happening to you and not as a result of you and your thinking. Right? And this is not to assign blame to anybody, and I get this a lot too. Tarkhan, is it our fault then? Are we to blame? It's nobody's fault. Nobody's to blame for anything. But you have to start understanding how things work, right? They don't work from the outside in. They work from the inside out. So the inside is where you have to make the shift. So the very important message I want to give you with this video, and it may actually be a short one, but the very important message, the very important thing that you have to start doing is you have to start expecting good things to happen, yes, but you have to start treating the things you want the most, your biggest desires. And I know for most of you out there watching this channel, that is going to involve relationship issues, getting a specific person into your life, getting an ex back, creating a new relationship with an ex, partner, lover, husband, wife, whatever. Those are your biggest concerns, and your biggest concerns, your biggest desires are the ones that you need to start seeing as normal, okay? So you want that text message, for instance, okay? So many people want that text message. They don't know what they want beyond that, but they want that text message. But even that seems to be so elusive because you see the text message as being a rare thing, as being a thing that's not going to come easily to you. What do I need to do? 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 Okay, I'll do this. And then okay, I'm going to visualize it. I'm going to visualize it. You make it a battle. You make it hard work because you think you have to push. You think you have to do something. You think you have to, I'm going to do 12 hours of meditating today. That might be a little extreme. That is quite extreme. I don't think most of you saying that, but how many times do I have to repeat these affirmations, Tarkhan? How many times do I do it in the morning? Do I do it at night? And you're thinking about what you need to do, what you need to do, what you need to do. How do I push against what I see happening to get it to bend to my will, to get it to shift into what I want it to be? And the only thing you really have to do is change your expectations about it and allow it to happen. And you have to, and the way you change your expectations about it, the way you change your perspective on it, your perception of it, is you start to adopt it as being something normal, okay? So it's not always necessarily the case that you need to be overly optimistic about your desire. And you hear this a lot, you hear it a lot from other teachers, and they're not wrong necessarily. And I've said this before, it's not necessary to have complete faith in the process. It's not necessary to have, to believe 100% that this is going to happen for me, okay? The only thing the most important thing, you don't have to bounce off the walls and do cartwheels in the park and, shit rainbows and talk about unicorns all the time, okay? If you want to, that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. But But the point I'm trying to make is it is enough to simply shift to a place where looking at your desire and how it would feel to have that thing and living in the end result feels normal to you. It feels like an everyday thing to you. It feels like, of course that's going to happen. Of course that is easy for me to manifest it. It's easy to get a text message. Of course they're going to text me. It's normal for them to text me. So in your visualizing, and you're going to the place where you're trying to feel how it would feel if you got the text message. And of course, realistically, you are going to jump off the walls and do cartwheels in the park when they finally text you. You're going to be excited but that's the thing. That reaction alone tells you where your mindset is at with it, right? That reaction alone tells you how you view your desire. You view it as something very rare and major, like winning the lottery, right? And even that isn't that rare. Even that, if you want to manifest winning the lottery, you have to start thinking of it and feeling of it as being a normal thing that happens all the time. Getting that text message happens all the time. You have to get to a place and a feeling, an expectation about it where it feels like, no big deal, right? This is like even the small things that are good. We manifest unwanted things very easily because, like I said, we have no resistance about them. We expect them to happen, and so we see them as normal, right? And we observe them happening all around us and to other people. So we see it as a normal way that things operate on this planet and in this life and yada yada. And that's why they come so easily. That's because there's no resistance. And resistance is really nothing more than kind of seeing your thing that you want or seeing things as being rare, right? Let's talk about unicorns. It is a unicorn. If you start thinking of the text message as a unicorn, as a rare thing, if you start thinking of them coming back in your life as a unicorn, if you start thinking of them as a unicorn, right, as a rare thing, then guess what? They're going to be rare. That's really all that there's to it. So in your affirmations, in the way that you start feeling like you would in the end result, is you start going to a place in your mind, in yourself, in your visualizations, whatever it is that you're doing out there, and you reach for the feeling of normalcy, of it being a normal thing to be with them, right? Like you would take it for granted almost, okay? So in your mind, what happens is it starts to shrink. It starts to shrink down. It starts to not be this enormous thing, first of all, that you have to struggle and push for and do all these things for, okay? And as that happens, then your mind starts to accept it more and more as a reality, as a thing, as a real possibility that can happen, right? And so as that happens, your actions start changing. You stop pushing so much. You stop blowing up their phone all the time. You stop sitting around and worrying about when is it going to happen all the time. In that sense, yes, it helps to believe that something is going to happen. But belief, again, doesn't have to be always being positive and optimistic and constantly being on top of it. Belief can just be, I believe that this is normal. I believe it's a given. I believe it's totally normal to get a text message from my ex, from that specific person. I would think it's totally normal that we're going to go on a date. It's totally normal that we're going to make out and sleep together. It's totally normal that we're going to get back together. It's totally normal that we're going to move in together eventually, that we're going to get married eventually, that we're going to have a family, and we're going to die together in a plane crash. No. But, you see the point I'm trying to make is that you have to start shifting yourself in the direction where things feel normal. And that's really the basic message of this video. So, because so many times I get this, and from my clients, from you guys out there, I can sense from your words that you're using, I can sense from even in your comments and the way you're approaching things that you still see these things as unicorns. You still see these things as rare, right? And that's an important shift to start making. The same way that you expect things to go wrong, you have to start in introducing the belief system, introducing the operating system and the perspective that things are going to go well. It's just as normal for things to go well. It's just as normal for things to work out for me as the opposite of that, okay? And it really is always like that. It's always 50-50. Things don't have an inherent meaning. We assign them meaning, okay? So if for instance, if you start thinking it's normal that I don't hear from them, right? You're giving that a meaning. And the meaning you give it is they don't care about me. They haven't texted me, so they're with somebody else. I haven't heard from them in a week, so now suddenly they're out of love with me. Suddenly they don't care about me. Suddenly they hate me, okay? Of course, that's your mind assigning meaning to it. That's your mind giving that some kind of clout. And you don't have to give it any kind of clout. It doesn't have to mean anything, because all kinds of possibilities are out there. Maybe something happened where they don't have the time. Maybe they're dealing with an issue in their family. Maybe their phone broke, or they lost it, or it was stolen. All kinds of things could be happening. But see, you assigning an expectation to that, you assigning a meaning to that, is ensuring that continued outcome, first of all, but also ensuring that continued outcome will come to you easily, more easily, without resistance. You're not introducing your own resistance towards the bad outcomes, if that makes sense. I'm trying to get that to make sense. Of course, that's me introducing resistance. You want to lessen your resistance to things that you want, and you want to increase your resistance to things that you don't want. So in other words, you start expecting things to go well, and you start seeing that and practicing the idea and the thinking and the mindset that it's normal for things to work out for you. It's normal to get what you want. And you start introducing the mindset that it's not necessarily normal for things to go wrong, right? So that's really it in a nutshell here. And there's not much more I can say about that. But I want this to be about you understanding how important it is to just feel normal about your desire, and feel normal about the other person. Don't make them so big in your mind. Don't put them on such a pedestal. They're not any more capable of any better than you are, any more capable of anything than you are. They're not superior to you, and they're not rare. They're not unicorns. Okay? You start thinking of them as being a common thing in your life. You start thinking of the feeling of being with them as being common. All right? People get together all the time, get back together with their exes constantly. People who are apart for years get back together. They have better relationships than they did before. Once they get back together, divorced people get remarried all the time. Everything is possible. And you got to start thinking of it that way. You got to start thinking of it as being normal. Okay? So that's a thing to practice right there. That's a different mindset and perspective to adopt. So I want to say that, it's not always necessary to bounce off the walls and be overly optimistic and expectant of your desire. It's enough to just think of it as being normal, an everyday occurrence that happens all the time, and it can happen just as easily to you. Okay? So I hope that makes sense. I hope I'm still a little bit jet lagged, so I'm not 100% back. So I hope my babbling didn't confuse you too much. Of course, I'm going to get questions in the comments probably. But on that note, I'm going to sign off for this one. I hope everyone's well out there. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't already, please hit that button now. Thank you for all your donations. You guys are awesome and incredibly generous. If you want to leave me a tip, there's links for that, Cash App and PayPal, down below in the description box. I still want to say subscription box after all this time. You're subscribing. I'm describing. Okay, that's how things work. Facebook group is growing, ever growing every day. So go hit that link down there. You'll find that down there as well. And if you want coaching with me, obviously, that link is also down below. Okay, guys? So thanks for watching. Until next time, and I will be even more cohesive, coherent the next time. I'll be even more rested, more better rested, more better. I'll be more better. Okay. Take care, guys. Bye.